to the next episode of the Next Generation Role Model Show. I'm your host, Victoria Summer.
Hello.
Today on the show,
welcome to the
we
next
have the most
episode
incredible guest who is a singer and a songwriter. Her name is Trinity Rose. She's 18 years old, and you might know her from American Idol. But we're super excited to have her on the show today. She has the most beautiful voice, and I'm excited for you to hear her sing and listen to her and her songs. Welcome onto the show, Trinity. Come in, Trinity.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you very much for being on the show today. We're really excited to talk to you, coming to us live from Canada.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Victoria. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to know about your career, first of all. I'd love to know, why you wanted and when you wanted to be a singer-songwriter.
Well, I started singing and writing from a pretty young age. I used to sing for my grandpa, whose house I'm in right now. I used to make these songs, and this one song I kept rewriting over and over and over again for him while I was on the phone. And it's called Believe or something, I Believe. And I would sing it to him every time I would talk to him while I was in America, while he was in Canada. And I just kept writing from there. That really was the first instance of being like, wow, I really love writing and singing, especially to people I care about.
Wow, that's a lovely gift for them. And I'm sure that your grandparents were really, really grateful for that. And to know that you had such a passion for it and a talent at such an early age. And actually to begin writing that young. How old were you then when you were writing that song?
I believe I was 6 or 7. Yeah.
That is so young. Wow. So you knew super early on that this was something that you wanted to do. It was a passion of yours at a very, very early age.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of started doing it out of just really liking, just really enjoying music and always growing up around it, especially with my parents, who really, really love music. My dad would play guitar all the time when I was younger. He'd bring over friends to have a whole guitar singing night. So I just kind of grew up in that kind of environment anyway.
Yeah, and it really helps if you have a musical family as well, which is a beautiful thing. So I found you on Instagram. You're growing a really nice, substantial fan base there. And I'm sure that it helps that people know you from being on shows like American Idol and The Voice, which is really incredible. Tell me how you would like to use your platform to help the next generation and to inspire others.
Well, I really try to use what platform I have now to inspire my quite young audience. It's usually younger girls who listen to my music and follow me on my sorted social medias. And a lot of the stuff that's presented nowadays isn't really as authentic or promotes as much self-love as I'd want it to. So I'm trying to promote as much as I can that kind of idea of you're perfect just the way you are. And I try to still be my authentic self as well. It's always good to try and be honest with even such a young audience, because they know what honesty is and what they need to hear those kinds of things, I think.
Wow, that's a big responsibility to have such a young age group that are looking up to you. It's really a special thing. Tell me how social media has impacted your career.
I think it's been the biggest impact for me. I've gotten a lot more traction in the past couple years. It's just from releasing song after song, working with a ton of other people. But the real big presence that's been in my life has been social media. I try to do live streams on Instagram and YouTube every Sunday, which I'm doing later today. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. I try to respond to emails. I try to respond to DMs. I think it's just where I find most of my success and most of the love for my music.
Yeah, that's lovely. And it's really nice to have that capability to be able to just go live and have people drop in and say hi and meet the people who follow you, you know, and speak to them and have DMs and comments. I mean, yeah, it's very, very different today than how it was. What advice would you give to kids who are starting out?
I think the most basic advice I give is go pick up at least one instrument. And I wouldn't go for classical kind of stuff. That's what I did with piano and I completely fell off of it. Find an instrument that you love. It doesn't have to be a complicated one. It could be like a ukulele or it could be the flute or something like that. But something, I think the best things you can pick up is guitar, ukulele, and piano, which is what I did. And just play songs you like play stuff you love. Try and find like little like vocal warm-ups online. You don't need to like find like a real vocal coach if you don't have the resources for it. That's not something I believe in. If you're able to get one eventually, that'd be great. But you can find a lot of the stuff on YouTube and at home.
Interesting. Yeah. So actually do songs that you're passionate about and that you like. I remember my piano lessons had to do scales and I found it really boring. And then I had to do all these different books of music that I didn't really enjoy. And really what I wanted to do was play Elton John songs because that was like my big thing at the time. I remember it really well. And actually when you do that, and I'm sure you've had this experience, you feel much more passionate and much more excited to do what you want to do because it actually comes from you and you've chosen it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Okay, so let's talk about the career as a singer. So obviously, you know, it's important that you do what you love and you perform songs that you love and you're talking about which instruments to pick up and start on. But how about management, you know, in terms of a career in music? Do you think you need a manager or an agent? Tell me about what your thoughts are on that.
From my experience, at least with what I do, no. I think what I found is that you can do a lot of it yourself or with the help of like a family member, which in this case is my mom. She does so much for me. She's always on top of a lot of like the more business sides of things. I don't think you need to hire someone for that unless you get to a level where it becomes very difficult to and it kind of diminishes from your career. But at first you can do it all yourself. All you got to do is just keep up with engagement, like just keep posting about stuff, keep like trying to regularly record. You can find people to write and record with you just by making friends at like camps or at open mics. All of these people are like in your area, or you just visit LA and then there's a million people here that will want to do that. So yeah, I don't think so, at least at the level I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. And let's talk a little bit about peer pressure and negativity, because it does happen, particularly because you have social media and you are able to put yourself out there. You're sort of putting yourself out there also to get bad comments and to get bullying and negativity. And I know that people find that difficult as well. And obviously you've been on these different shows like The Voice and American Idol. Talk to me about any kind of negativity that you felt perhaps at those shows or even on your social platforms.
For the most part, at least in shows like The Voice and American Idol, I had really good experience with the other artists that were there. I think when like musicians are around each other, there's usually a lot of positivity there and no one really treats it like a very strict competition, at least as far as I've gone. But in the general like music industry and things like that, I found a lot of negativity, unfortunately. And I've had to separate myself from it. I've had trouble like in a lot of areas of my life, and I've found ways to separate myself from it. I found people that are better for me, a path that's better for me. Like I went to public school for like every single, like from elementary school to high school. I just graduated. A lot of people that do what I do are all homeschooled, and I don't regret my path for a second. And it really depends on who you are and what kind of negativity you're receiving or how much you can really take. Because I've found that I really have to balance it depending on what I'm doing career-wise.
Interesting. So you obviously went to a public school, and you're glad you went to a public school. You appreciate that experience. But obviously it kind of leaves you more open to peer pressure, I suppose, if you're in that schooling environment rather than being homeschooled. But I'm glad that you're grateful of that experience. I think that's really important. How do you cope with the rejection side of it? And tell us as well a little bit about your American Idol and voice experience, because it's not easy to go on those shows, and it's not easy to cope with, the rejection. And tell me a bit about how that was for you.
I think both times I did experience rejection on the shows, obviously. It hurts. It feels like it, but you let it hurt just for a little while. You allow yourself to process it, and then you get a cry out, and then you're done because you're moving on. You have other things to do. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be, and you've got more important stuff to do. And that's at least the mindset that I've had. None of these things, if you're not, if you're if you don't make it as far as you want to go, or if you don't book the role, or if something doesn't do as well as you want it to, that's how it's going to be, that you can't really change anything there. So it's best to accept it, to find peace in it, and just continue finding new things that you can find success in, essentially.
A very good outlook and very good viewpoint on it, because it's not easy, and I'm sure that just listening to that, a lot of people can learn from your experience there, and knowing how you coped with it. Let's talk about being a role model. This is obviously the Next Generation Role Model Show, and we're here because we want to shine the spotlight on leaders and visionaries of the next generation. Tell me what being a leader means to you.
I think being a leader is just being the support that people need, whether or not you're close to them or you're just like someone you see online. I think being a leader is just being the support system. I did a group song with like 50 other kids when I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. And that was really hard, but I found the best thing to do is just support the other people that are around you, and trust other people to like take on some of your load and some of your work. Like the best thing about being a leader is that you aren't stubborn in the fact that you are like leading. You have to be able to take off some of the load and trust other people, or you're just going to end up leading only yourself and not giving the support that the rest of your team needs.
There you go. The importance of delegation and not having to do everything yourself, but giving tasks out to other people and believing in your team around you, and for them to be able to do it too. That makes a lot of sense. Talk to me about your favorite role model. Who is it? And if you met them, what would you like to do with them?
I think I'd have to say Paul McCartney. He's iconic, and he seems like such a kind soul, and he's seen the whole music industry. Like, he's seen so much of it. And I think if I were to meet him, I would love to just talk to him about everything that he's experienced, or his views on the new industry and the old, and how like everything has evolved, and how I can really fulfill my role in it, as well as from someone who really understands how he fit into the industry himself. I think that would be very interesting. I'd love to have a conversation. I'd love to write a song with him as well, of course. But I think that kind of knowledge you really can't find anywhere else.
Oh yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Love the Beatles forever. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about charity work. One of the big points about being a next generation role model is not just going after your own dreams, but also reaching back to help pull others up behind you, which is an important thing. And I know that you're very, very passionate about your charity work. So let's talk about that.
All right. So I've tried to reach out to perform for a lot of charities. I've I did these teen music nights where I would center each music night around a certain charity, ask people to bring certain things. One of the examples that I'll bring up is the West Side Food Bank in California. And I'd ask people most recently to bring cans of food and any perishables that like you can spare to the charity. But another really important one that I've been a part of for many, many years is the Grace Rose Foundation. Grace Rose is such a sweet girl, and she raises money for cystic fibrosis, especially through fashion. I've been a part of a lot of her fashion movements, and it's been such an incredible experience working with her and everyone that she works with. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. Oh, well, I look forward to seeing you in your next performance. And obviously, please tune in to Trinity. She's live on Sundays. You're singing as well on these lives, sometimes with other people, your guests and stuff like that. I think that's a wonderful thing to do, and just to go live as much as possible and just keep singing. So I really admire you for doing that. And let us know also just at the end here where people can find you.
Oh, yes. So if you want to find me, I'm very active on my Instagram, Trinity Rose Official. Also my TikTok, Trinity Rose Music. Actually, I changed it to Trinity Rose Official as well. Whoa. And if you want to find anything else, my name is Trinity Rose. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, everything. And if you really want to see everything I've got going, go to my website, which is www.trinityroseofficial.com. Yay.
TrinityRoseOfficial.com, and she's very active on Instagram. Please download her music also on Spotify and iTunes. So lovely to meet you, Trinity. Thank you for being a guest on our show, and you are a next generation role model. Thank you for inspiring others.
Thank you, and sorry if you can hear my dog barking.
Your dog saying hi just at the end there. Hi. What's your dog's name?
Ronan, he's really cute. And there's another dog here as well, which is my uncle's dog. So they just make each other bark all the time.
I know how it is. I have a dog too. Okay, we will meet soon. And like I said, thank you for being a guest on the show, and good luck with your career, and we will follow you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.